Happy New Year to us all. How has the new year been? How has the few days that began been? I hope everything is fine. We thank God regardless. Regardless. Just forget about everything. We thank God for everything He's doing in our lives. Thank you for joining today. I want to say a big thank you for joining today. So, right into our discussion for today. And before I do that, I want to just lay this disclaimer that I'm a wife, I'm a young Christian wife, all right. But one of the missions and the reason why I set up this channel is for us to learn from older wives, okay? Paul stated in Titus 2:4-5, and I'm going to paraphrase it, which said that the older women should teach the younger wives what to do, how to take care of their homes, to be keepers at home, to take care of their children and all of that, so that the word of God is not maligned, it's not blasphemed and all of that. And so purposefully, this channel is for us to learn from older women, and also the very many things that the Holy Spirit has made me learn over the years. I've been married for 10 years by God's grace. We celebrated our 10th anniversary in December, that was 2022. And so the many things that I have learned and have come to realize over the years are some of the things I will be sharing. And when we get our older wives on here, on the channel, they are also going to delve deeper into some of these things I have shared with us already, into some of these things that bother our minds already, okay? And that is the disclaimer I wanted to put out here, that my marriage is not 100%. My marriage is not perfect like the social media marriages we see out there, like the social media Instagram friendly, pictured nicely friendly marriages out there. And so please, when you see me share, I also am learning. I'm also learning from everything that I put out here. I am just obeying the word of the Lord. I'm just obeying my call onto helping other wives in this ministry, in this work. So we learn together, we share together. The experience you've had as a 2-year-old marriage or as a 2-year-old wife may be different and may be something extraordinary that a 10-year-old, 15-year-old wife would equally benefit. And so we share with each other, we learn from each other, and then we grow together, okay? So that this path that we've taken in our lives can also have effect, we can also grow there, we can also make strides in this regard. When we are in the corporate world, we do certain things that pushes us into certain levels, higher levels than we started and all of that. And so marriage is also a part of our lives that there are certain things that others know about, that they've done already, that we can learn from. And that is why this channel was birthed. This channel was created so that it will help us. And also one more thing is that when it comes to every generation, there's how we all understand and we grasp issues, okay? And so if the person explaining to you is not at your level, you may not, it can take you a longer time for you to understand whatever it is. But if the person guiding you is within your age range, or is within that generation that you fall into, it is easier for you to understand. And so that is how come sometimes, and sometimes many times, there are lots of things that our mothers say to us, we want to probe into it, but they do not have answers to us. I remember one time my in-law was with me and I was preparing garden eggs, and they said I shouldn't forget to slice it in two. I was like, so what's the essence of slicing it? They just said, just do it. And I was just like, I want to know so that I can explain it further to my daughter or somebody else. But they couldn't really give me a concrete answer to that. Although there may be a reason, there is a reason why we slice our garden eggs before we boil them and all of that. And so I'd like to also add that I coming in to let us know a few things that the Lord has opened my eyes to know as a wife. It's a way that for me, my very first call is teaching. And so I will break things down to a level that you would understand, and it will help you to grasp, and it will help you to take decisions faster or otherwise better. And so this is the best disclaimer I want to put out there. So yes, today I want us to ponder over something. Marriage. We are told it's an institution. We are told it's God's institution. Then one time the Lord just ministered to me and said, this thing, if it was a man-made institution, it would have collapsed a long time. What do you think? It would have collapsed a long time. Just look at recently what happened to some of our institutions back here in Ghana. They collapsed because they were seen as Ponzi schemes and dubious and all of that. And so the regulators had to put measures in place to bring them down so that they are not scammed by others again. They don't scam others by their deeds again. But then again, I asked myself, even if it was man-made, people would still have gone in to know what is there. Why am I saying this? Marriage is not man-made. If it were man-made, there are lots of issues we hear people spill out there when they enter marriages. There are lots of sad experiences that makes others have to leave, have to exit, would have prompted the newbies, the new employees, to hold it and not come. But what do we see every Saturday? We have invitations flooding the whole space every time, and it's amazing. We have marriages being announced every single day, and it's also amazing how divorces are thriving and are on the increase every other day as well. So if it really was man-made, we would have learned from these mistakes, so to speak, and all these experiences, and said to ourselves that we are not going to enter. But this thing is not made by man. It is from God himself, and that is how come nothing will stop this ministry, or nothing will stop this institution from growing. The same way we human beings set up companies, we buy lands and we have plans for it, we have purposes for it, we move according to it, we have plan B's, plan C's, that if this doesn't work, we switch to this and all of that. The same way in this God's institution, he has a purpose for it. He has a plan for marriages. That is how come he made it, and that is how come the experiences of your friend, which is so painful, when it gets to the time that you need to marry, or when it gets to the time that that other lady needs to marry, that experience would even vanish in her thoughts, and she will still go for it. It's very, very, very interesting, but that is how God works. And so God's plan, God has an original plan for marriages. And many times when these plans are not going accordingly, he steps in. And that's how come I love Genesis story. I love the creation story to bits. One of these days I will tackle it, okay? When God realized that Adam and Eve were going away from the plan, He came in even before they called him. Nobody even called God to say that, hey, God, there's something strange happening here. Or what is happening? They were having fellowship with him, you see. But God stepped in himself because he knows what this institution has to be. He knows how he wants to run it. And so when things were not going well, he just stepped in. The same way CEOs, owners of businesses, when we see something that does not align to our mission, does not align to our purpose, we step in, put in measures, assign people, and then it is done. The same way God does it. He steps in without our consent. Sometimes he doesn't need our consent. He steps in, aligns measures, shows ways how it should be done. Then he corrects the situation, whether you are affected or not. This is his institution. You do not run it the way you want it to be. You cannot come into God's institution and do things the way you want it. And so let's be very mindful. Marriage, it is not a man-made institution. It is God's institution. And so if we enter, many of us are already married, as we are in it, that is why I keep saying that we have to be in fellowship with him. As we are in it, we need to always consult him, ask him how it should be done, how he wants it to be done. And sometimes if things happen and it goes haywire, he steps in. And when he steps in, we should just follow the procedures that he gives to us, and everything will be fine. If not, and you need to excuse yourself, you need to separate, you need to divorce. In this age and era, in as much as divorce has not been an option in marriage, we've come to the point where lives are important than staying in a place that is threatening. And so until we get to that phase, let's continue to operate in the realm of the CEO, in the realm of the vision statement, in the realm of the mission statement, in the realm of this institution holder. If we really align with his visions, if we really see ourselves aligning ourselves with him, because we cannot join and later think that things have to be our own way because it is our marriage. It is not your marriage, honey. It is not yours. There's a purpose. At the end of the day, that is how come there's a verse that says that the husbands will groom their wives and then present them blameless before the king. The wives too have a purpose to also fulfill. So we'll take them step by step along the way. Along the way. There's no particular pattern to these videos. I'll just drop them as I'm led to speak to us about some of these things, so that we all learn together and we grow together as wives. When our older women come on and we catch them and they come, we'll ask them some of the toughest questions. And so let me know some of the questions that beats your mind, some of the topics you want us to talk about. Maybe I've had a word or two about them already, I'll share. But when our mummies comes, when our older wives come, I'll put it to them and ask them, so that they help us, they guide us through it. Then we'll have a sound mind in some of the challenges we face as wives. You are doing so well, dear young wife. You are doing amazingly well. For you to juggle all these things and sometimes not spread the news and use wisdom, godly wisdom, it's a lot of work. You are doing so well. So virtual hugs to all of us, and God bless us all. Thank you for listening. And if this video has been a blessing, don't forget to subscribe, share it, like it, and let's continue the discussion in the comment section. See you. Bye bye.